Well guys, this is it. We are finally at the last collaboration video between the Schmoes Know and myself. Today we're going to be talking about Superman Doomsday, the DC animated original film. And before I get into my review, I will let you guys enjoy the Schmoes review of Superman Doomsday.
Hello Chris, thanks for having us back on the show. And I'll tell you what, we've had a lot of fun reviewing all these old Superman films. And unfortunately there are only 5 really theatrical ones released. And then we started thinking about, what are we going to do next?
Well, we also needed something to get the taste out of our mouths from Superman 3 and 4, and to some extent Superman Returns.
The funny thing is about Doomsday is that...
It's a cartoon?
Yeah, there are tons of cartoons that I think that are better than this one, but the reason that I think that we're doing it is because it's the only time you actually really get to see this legendary character that in the comics killed Superman.
He croaks. I mean, look, when I was a kid, I remember the comic book series coming out, and I owned it because, I mean, there is no cooler cover ever than just the black with the S logo dripping blood. The death of Superman is just so cool from a, a really sick standpoint. It's a very interesting storyline. Doomsday ends up killing him, and so we get to see those battles go down and see if Superman can actually literally come back from the dead.
The first half of this movie is pretty cool because you get the element that you were just talking about. I'm watching how this beast, this crazy...
Yeah, it's really a super soldier that he comes back into prominence because LexCorp is digging something and there's a spaceship, and then Doomsday emerges from the spaceship. He kills all of Lex's people right there, and then he says, look, he goes to Metropolis, he goes on a murderous rampage, and Superman needs to fly in to stop him. He and Lois Lane are working on their relationship at the Fortress of Solitude. Superman comes in, they have this great battle, and it doesn't go Soup's way.
Right, for a little bit. And then, oh, he's dead. And then he comes back and he's maybe a little evil or something to it. He comes back and he's victorious. But the second half of the movie kind of fell flat for me because you lost it. Oh, here's that big battle. And then there's just a lot of kind of diatribes here and there. And it's just kind of...
I mean, without Doomsday in the second half of the movie, you mean, because it also got a little campier. I mean, again, look, we're reviewing a cartoon, and I really have a problem taking cartoons seriously. I did like Batman Mask of the Phantasm, and I thought this was really capable and it had a very serious tone. The damn thing's rated PG-13.
Yeah.
But it does get a little, I mean, we have Superman's clone coming around, and you can't tell if it's Lois, they're not sure that this is real Superman. It ends up not being because Lex Luthor has the real Superman's body, and he's keeping it like Jabba the Hutt keeps Han Solo frozen in carbonite. It's just there for his amusement.
And I think that was it. I love cartoons. I think I can take them pretty seriously when they're darker in tone. I used to love the old Spawn series, and I thought this movie was getting dark, and then I don't know, the storyline just kind of fell a little flat, like I said. So overall, I think there are tons better animations that I'd like to see that I've heard about, and I'd like to hear what you guys think about it too. So I want to read in the comments as well what to suggest.
The vocal talent was top-notch, though, because Adam Baldwin really pulled off the Superman vibe, and James Marsters as Lex Luthor. Anne Heche as Lois Lane is fine. It's funny because it's like, if you think you're going to have problems now, the only time you guys can hook up is at the Fortress of Solitude. Wait till you find out who Anne Heche is really attracted to.
Uh-oh. Okay, so overall, this movie, I'm gonna steal your scale here. I'm gonna go 2.8 out of 5 schmoes.
Oh, come on! I'm gonna get it fresh. I think it's like 3.25 out of 5 schmoes. I could probably go 3.5 and still have some credibility in life. But it's a nice Superman story. I like that it wasn't too long. It's a cartoon. It's not even 80 minutes. I don't think so. I think it's worth checking out as you're leading up to the excitement building around Man of Steel. So it better that than Superman 3 or 4.
Well, speaking of which, Chris, it was a lot of fun doing these collaborations with you, and I think that, again, your review of Man of Steel is coming up pretty soon, as is ours, so make sure you check out his review, our review, and thank you so much, and we'll look forward to doing another one of these with you very soon.
Absolutely, man. Big superhero franchises, that's why you call the Schmoes, that's why you call Stuckmann. Chris, back to you, buddy. Nice toss.
Superman Doomsday is based off of one of the most famous comic book arcs. I remember in the mid-90s when this was coming out, I would go to my local comics store. It's a place called JC Comics. I love that place. And I remember hearing about that story and thinking, what? Superman is dead? Because I was like 10 years old in the mid-90s, so I didn't know what was going on. And it scared me. I saw the blood red Superman emblem and I was like, no. But now that I'm an adult and understand what's going on, it is one of my favorite comic book stories. I have it right there, the full arc. And that's why I was looking forward to seeing Superman Doomsday, because it was something that I was like, wow, that's a lot of really good source material. There's a lot of really good drama in there. It's a good comic book story. It's one of the coolest Superman stories. And that's why I was very disappointed with this animated version. They really did no justice to the comic, really. I mean, it doesn't follow the storyline even remotely. I mean, I guess the closest thing is that Superman and Doomsday do fight, that Superman does fall by Doomsday's hand, and that later in the film Superman comes back and has like a black suit on. Other than that, there really isn't that much else in the comics that is in this film. It's all changed. The Justice League has been removed. Now Lex Luthor discovers Doomsday to get Lex Luthor in there somehow. And I really feel like the raw emotion has just been stripped right out of that story for this movie. That being said, it's not a terrible animated film. It'll keep your attention, I would say, for its short runtime, but it just doesn't have what that arc provided. And for serious fans of the comics, this was a really big disappointment. And all the stuff that it added just felt like baggage. I mean, there was such a cool story there. Can you imagine if they had included all of the various elements of the various Supermen that were in that comic, not just the clones? Can you imagine how cool it would have been if they included the members of the Justice League that were actually in that comic? There was just so much there in that original story that was just not included that could have been so much better for this movie, but they decided to go in like the cliched safe route. Like, we'll bring Lex Luthor in there, have Lex Luthor be the overseer of all of this stuff, and add all these things that just didn't need to be there. So it made the movie kind of uninteresting for me, and I didn't really enjoy it that much. I thought that it could have been a lot better. That being said, the animation is pretty good. It is entertaining for what it is. I wasn't bored by it, but it just could have been a lot more because of the source material provided a lot more that they didn't really go into. So I'm going to give Superman Doomsday a C. There are some other better Superman animated films out there. I would say The World's Finest, the Batman Superman movie. That's one you should check out. That one's pretty good. I like that one a lot. Well guys, my Man of Steel review will be up late Tuesday night. I'm extremely excited to bring you guys that review. And also I just want to say thanks very much, Schmoes. It's been nice doing these collaboration videos with you. We did Batman in the past, now we've covered Superman. We've officially collaborated on the two most popular DC heroes, and it's been great doing this with you guys. I really appreciate the collab. It was a lot of fun. And as always guys, if you like this, you can click right here and get Stuckmanized.